Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Kayla, and if you're not new, thanks for coming back. Always happy to have you. Today is a Friday. It is Friday of long weekend. It is Indigenous Peoples Day on Monday. And for the first time since school started, I am ahead on grading, planning, and my homework. So I figured I'd take you along with me. Fridays, I'm usually by myself for most of the evening because my boyfriend is at football. So I am here at Cafe Nero. I'm gonna try and work on my book and do some writing. We haven't done a writing vlog in a little bit, and this is gonna be like a combo reading, writing vlog situation because I want to do some reading, some cozy fall evening things, and some writing. So I've been in the parking lot for about 20 minutes, just kind of like decompressing from my day. Let's go in, grab a drink, and get writing and work on my novel. If you're new here, I like to do a lot of book and lifestyle content, so if any of that interests you, make sure you stick around and hang out with us. So go get something to drink and go write. Diving on in, I thought this was going to be a really peaceful writing session until I found this bug in my latte, and this is me contemplating whether or not I throw up or I go get a new coffee, which I did. And then I have my writing playlist going on Spotify that I just add songs to that are a little bit of a good writing mood, a good writing vibe, and some are more like film scores that help with the writing scenes that I'm working on before I switch on over to Scrivener, where I'm catching back up on my plot and what I was writing previously. Honestly, this I hadn't written in a really long time. It was probably like 9 months since I had worked on my novel, so I was really happy to do that. And I'm pulling up my project target and my daily word count target and changing that for today and bringing it up from 1,000 to 1,250 words for this session. And it really wouldn't be a writing session if I wasn't using Forest to help me stay focused. This is my favorite little focus app that helps me plant little trees while I'm not using my phone. I love when I write things and then don't remember what I was going to write next. First 25 minutes ended, started another timer, and was just at over 180 words, which felt really good. I swear, this is what my writing process is every time. I write things and I go too long and do not remember what I was going to write. Second sprint is up and I started a third. At this point, I was just about over 600 words, so that middle 25 was really strong. And this is me finishing my target at 1261. Okay, I'm home now. It's almost 7 o'clock. I've been home for a few minutes, but I was actually in Cafe Nero for about an hour and a half and I hit my writing goal. Actually surpassed my writing goal, even if it's only by 10 words. It counts. Couple things. I got into a really good writing groove. Honestly, I think part of it is just getting out of the house to do writing, because when I'm here, I'm like, I could go do dishes or laundry, or I could play video games, or I could just read or whatever. So I think getting out of the house has been helpful. We're almost at 60 pages of my manuscript, which doesn't feel like a lot, but like that is a lot considering I don't think I was past 20 when I started writing this year, and I've written like 9 pages this week, so feels good. I do think I'm gonna write some more. I had a decaf coffee, but I did plan on staying up pretty late tonight, so I think I'm gonna make dinner and shower and then maybe write a little bit more and just see where we get. Using the Focus app really helped. That's that little app that I always use that like plants trees when you can pay attention for long enough time. So maybe we'll do some like longer focused sprints. And I hope you enjoyed some of the like fun comments I leave myself while I'm writing. Honestly, I get a little bit brutal in my comments, but I feel like I need to be, because if I'm not like, what are you doing, when I go to revise and edit the book, I don't want to have like a low quality of work. So if I bully myself a little bit, I'll probably do a good job. I just think it's hilarious. I did some writing on Sunday and today's Friday, obviously. And I ended with, I have something important to tell you that you'll never believe, was the last thing that I wrote. And then I know in my head, I sat at the same Cafe Nero in the same booth and I said, this is such a good idea, I definitely won't forget it. And then did not remember. Really fun, good stuff. Gotta love it. I am gonna clean up a little bit in here because it's been a week. It's been a long week,
Okay, and sometimes our house gets a little out of hand. Normally I make myself like a little treat yourself delicious dinner when Grant's at football, like a serving for one, and I want to make homemade Alfredo because I have some delicious pasta that's really good, but I don't know if I have all the stuff, so I have to check. While I clean, I'm gonna go ahead and start listening to my audiobook. I've been very into audiobooks lately, mostly through Libby, but I'm actually on Libro FM right now. And I'm listening to Weyward by Emilia Hart. I don't know if you can like fully see that cover, but so far it's really good. It's very fall vibes. It's about like, we have 3 different timelines. We have like a character from 2019 who is escaping a domestic violence situation to her great aunt's cottage in England, and then we have 1619, a girl being tried for witchcraft and witchcraft that led to death, and then we have 1942, a girl who is just like kind of stuck on an estate in World War II, who is like well off but just kind of trapped by her societal expectations. So yeah, it's a quick audiobook. It's only 10 hours on regular speed and it's on 1.5, but we have like 3 different storylines that are all going to, I assume, be interwoven, and they're all have something to do with the term wayward. So I'm gonna keep listening. Okay, it's now like 8:20ish. Excuse the washing machine. I threw a load in the wash, cleaned up my kitchen, I showered. I also got some stuff done that I've been trying to do for a few weeks that I just haven't had time to do. Like, I picked up upstairs, changed our sheets, did all that good stuff, pulled a load of like towels and linens to wash. I am going to make some Alfredo. I was really nervous on my way home from Cafe Nero that I actually didn't have all the ingredients that I need, but I do. And the best part, this is maybe a weird thing about me, but I love when I can finish something and get rid of it out of my pantry or my fridge. And we're gonna finish up a lot of stuff with this recipe. This has been on sale the past couple weeks at Stop and Shop, and it's just like really nice semolina pasta that cooks really well. So I'm gonna use up some of this, and then a little bit of heavy whipping cream. You need butter, garlic. I have parm that I'm going to grate to put in the sauce, and then I have some mozzarella and some shredded parm like this that I'll put on top. I have some Gruyere left over from French onion soup in case I don't have enough parm. I think it will be not that different, but we'll see. By the laws of math, it is, if I have 2/3 cup of heavy whipping cream, I'm making a 1/3 recipe, which I think will be plenty, but let's do it. The sauce is done. I've taste tested. It is delicious. The fresh parm really makes a difference, even though it's a pain. We have like 6 minutes left. I probably made too much pasta for the amount of sauce that I have, which is unfortunate, but that's okay. And I am like a third of the way overall. I'm liking the 3 different storylines, but I'm kind of fine with multi-POV books like this that I almost wish that they were 3 individual books. I feel like I have predicted quite a bit of what's going to happen at the end of this book. Another problem I'm having is there isn't really a plot. Like, there is not something we are working towards. Like, I don't know what the climax is going to be. We're just kind of along for the ride, which is fine, but I'm just like, we're 30% of the way through the book, and I don't really know what the goal is yet. Another struggle I have with books like this particularly, I felt like this with The Lost Apothecary. It's really hard when you have a modern day storyline and storylines are really far in the past. Like this one has one from 1619, this one has one from 1942. Those people are already dead, and I feel like I get this vibe that there's no helping them. Like no matter what happens in the book, they can't change their fate. So it's almost like I have a little bit of dread about it. Like I feel like the more modern day plot line is the only one that can really be like changed or affected, so I'm more invested in that one. It feels more like we're invested in the story, figuring out what's happening, where the previous plot lines were along for the ride because all of those things have already happened in the past, if that makes sense. I feel like that's a weird take, but it is just how I'm feeling, especially with the 1619 plot line, because that girl again tried for witchcraft. I think we can probably guess what's happening. So yeah, I feel like it's like a little predictable, but it's not bad. It does fit the bill for a Halloween fall read, so I'm in. I was gonna listen to Dead Romantics by Ashley Poston, but this one was actually downloaded, but Dead Romantics might be the next one. It's almost 9. I'm going to, I think, take a break from Weyward and put on the newest episode of the Kardashians while I eat dinner, and then we'll get back to writing time. I'm using my iridescent wine glasses from Anthropologie, and I love them. Love my boyfriend to bits, but he has a horrible habit of wandering with the Roku remote, so I don't know where it went. So we have to use the phone remote. I'm proud. This looks so good. I'm gonna put a little bit more fresh parm on the bowl. This is the life, truly. Okay, it's now just about 10 o'clock. I think what I'm going to do is do some more writing. I'm not super tired, but I'm like a little bit tired. But I also want to have video game time, which at the end of a week of teaching 8th graders, I feel like I just need a little bit of brain rot time, which is when I play video games. I'm trying to decide if I want to do like more cozy gaming, like Disney Dreamlight Valley, or do I want to go full nerd and go Harry Potter Hogwarts Legacy. I just don't know. I think I'm trying to get like another 35 minutes of writing in and go from there. My focus is definitely not feeling as strong as it did when I was, when I was like having Nero. So we'll see what we get done. Honestly, I already met my goal, so like I'm happy with what I did. Anything else is just bonus and to keep me like in my world, in my story, and keep me on a trajectory forward. That is the goal. Okay, so when I left off, I was at just under 23,000 words. I'm at 22,766 and I'm on page 59. Let's see where we end up at the end of this sprint. We have 33 minutes going. You still can't see. Jesus Christmas. Okay, it's 10:35, so I did my 35-minute writing sprint, and I am very proud of myself. I almost doubled my writing goal today, but I wrote another 1,000 words in that 35 minutes, which that is just what does not make sense to me, because I can go months without writing and then I get into it and I write maybe 200, 300 words, and then I can sit for 30 minutes and I can write 1,000. Where does that come from? Why do I not do this literally all the time? And then the also really toxic part of my brain is just like, if you got your act together and you wrote this much every single day, your book could probably be done in the next 3 months. However, you can't get your act together, but I digress. We're now on page 61, which means I wrote 6 pages today, which when I say it like that, it doesn't seem like a lot, but the fact that I put 6 pages worth of a book together that fit into an overall plot that feed off of a previous chapter that lead to a new chapter. It's a thing. Now almost under 24,000 words. I'm at 23,743 words, which is great. I am overall really proud. Now I'm aware of it, and I have not I'm not leaving myself in a spot that's like, wait, what did I mean to write next? It's at a place I know what's going to happen next. I can see back in my project history, this is literally obviously the most I've written since I got laid off. When I was laid off, I wrote a total of 21,000 words. In February alone, I wrote 19,000. I have not written, let's see, this is the most I've ever written in a single day since I started my novel, which is pretty cool. So I'm feeling good, but now I do need some brain rot time. It's 10:30 and I am now starting to get tired. Truthfully, I could keep going, but then I feel like I'm going to get like brain tired and start writing crappy. So I'm gonna give myself a break, and then I don't know if Grant is working tomorrow. If he is, I will probably take some more time to do writing because we're trying to make it a habit. We're working on a habit. But I will definitely, it's a long weekend and today's only Friday. I will definitely find more time to get writing done this weekend, especially because I feel like I've been saying this in reading vlogs forever, but I am so close to like the big inciting incident of the problem, and I want to write that scene. Good writing time. Now it's time to play Harry Potter Hogwarts Legacy. I was gonna do cozy, but I'm really curious what happens next in the part that I left off of in Harry Potter Hogwarts Legacy, and I feel like cozy gaming like Disney Dreamlight Valley is better for the morning time. So like before I go get my nails done tomorrow, I can play a little bit, but we're gonna play, get the Xbox going. I have to say I'm not very good at this game. Too much Xbox. I also literally got my Xbox to play this game, so I've never played Xbox before this, so I feel like that is the learning curve for me with Hogwarts Legacy, but we be figuring it out. We be learning. It's a lot of Googling right now. Hi guys, it is now Saturday. It's like 7:15 in the evening. Grant did end up going to work tonight, but we had a really fun day. Well, first I got my nails done, which is always fun for me. I got this like fall green color, which I really like. We ended up going to an apple orchard and cidery in Massachusetts this morning up near New Hampshire. I was really grateful because I bought pick your own tickets for tomorrow, but they let us go in today, and we kind of cut the last of the apples for the season because first week of October is already pretty late, but we got some apples and we're gonna make apple crisp tomorrow. We got some cider donuts, some cider. We tried their hard cider, and I got a whoopie pie for a little treat later. But Grant ended up going to work today. I feel like I've had a good balance of doing stuff today, going out with Grant and getting my nails done. So I've had adequate like brain activity time. And I also had some good brain rot time. I did some scrolling and I played Hogwarts Legacy for like an hour and a half. I was gonna go to Cafe Nero again because I feel like it's better for my writing for me to get started out of the house, but I'm going to try and untrain that out of my brain because it's not always affordable and not always reasonable to only do writing not at home. So I'm gonna try and train myself to do that. I'm gonna start at my desk. But I'm tied. I want to really write and keep diving into my story, but I also really want to finish the book I'm reading right now. So we might do splitsies. I think Grant will be home pretty late, so I have some time to do both, but we will see. I'm gonna make myself a little beverage, and I don't feel like I need a snack. We're gonna have one of these. Admiral Percy's Punch. It is a gin drink. It's from Treehouse Brewing Company. There's a couple around Massachusetts, but my parents live really close to one. So we're gonna have one of these. It's like a spiced fall maple syrup gin punch, and it's delicious. So ready to write at my little writing nook. Because it has been a while since I have done a writing vlog, I figured I would recap some of the things, some of the tools that I use to make my writing process a little bit organized in my brain. First thing that I got, this was an Amazon Basics. This is, I believe, an A5 grid notebook, graph notebook, if you can see. And then this is actually blank, and I think I am going to get back to doing this because I'm caught up. So I'm on chapter 7 of my book right now, and I didn't actually fill out this planning page, but I am gonna go ahead and do chapter 8 in my notebook, I think today, probably at the end of my writing session, because it will depend where I end up. Then I have 2 other notebooks that I use on a regular basis. This is usually my go-to notebook. Writing session notes, I haven't been doing this the past couple days I've been writing, but I want to get back into it because I want to make sure I keep track of the things that I'm thinking of in my head, or the questions or concerns I have about my writing while I'm writing. So I jot them down here, and I also have a log of my chapter lengths, and I also just try and keep some data on my writing sessions. So the chapters I worked on, the pages I worked on, the words I wrote. I have, like I said, fallen off the bandwagon with this, but this is just really helpful for progress and just tracking my writing, whereas this one is more planning focused. The second thing, this is actually, or the third thing, this is from my mom. This was a gift when I graduated college. I don't actually write in this because I feel like it's a resource I want to have. I could honestly do it for this book and just keep the prompts, but this is called Work in Progress by Maura King. And it is just like questions and journal prompts to really dive into your book, into your story. So for example, we have brainstorming, plot, world building, protagonist, and antagonist, supporting characters, romance, fantasy. So I use that if I ever get stuck or if I want to be creative, but I'm just nervous to approach my story again. Okay, in what ways is my world Earth-like? Are there non-human entities? How numerous are they? What is the mental or physical process for summoning magic? What does it cost the wielder to use magic? How does using magic feel? So yeah, this will definitely come in handy as I get deeper and deeper into my story. And then I write on Scrivener. And this is something I have been really like looking into and exploring as AI becomes kind of a bigger thing. I know a lot of people write in Google Docs because it is a free word processing software, but everything you put online and post online can feed AI to write novels or do whatever, write content, write copy. So I would not recommend Google Docs. I did used to write on Word and I liked it, but I really like Scrivener, how you can organize all of the different components and aspects that make up your novel. Like you can organize your places, you can organize your characters, you can do like the front matter and the front pages for when you go to publish or if you want to self-publish. So I really like the organization and the separation in Scrivener. I like the word targets and things like that. One adjustment I've made since yesterday's writing is I changed my overall manuscript target goal because I am currently writing in a full stream draft, so I'm not breaking it up by chapter. I'm just writing all in one document, but previously I did chapter by chapter separate draft documents that I was going to compile together. It is skewing the number of words I've written for the overall project goal. So it looks like I've written 47,000 words in total, but really the manuscript itself is 23,000. It's almost half of what it looks like when I have all the chapters separated out. So eventually I think I will go back and delete those chapter drafts to be more accurate, but I didn't want my whole manuscript target to be off because it looked like I was like halfway to my goal, which I wasn't. And I also think that my goal just needs to be upped a little bit. 100,000 words doesn't quite feel long enough for what we're hoping to do. I think 150 is more accurate, but I put 250 just to be safe, and I can adjust it later, but I think 150. We're gonna get the writing playlist going and we're gonna dive in. My camera battery is flashing again, so it's not going super well. The focus is not here right now. What I am really feeling like my brain needs is to go finish my book. I am reading A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, and I'm like halfway through, and I think it's a quick read. I just haven't had the dedicated time to sit down and read it. So I think I'm gonna take some time and go read that. And then I have been the new Haunted Mansion just came out on Disney Plus, and Haunted Mansion is my favorite Halloween movie. Though Grant and I did talk about watching that together. So maybe I won't do that. I think we're just gonna go have some vibe time and read. I'm trying not to make writing feel like a chore, make it feel like something I'm really excited about. So I'm not gonna force myself to write right now when it's not coming to me, but I still luckily have 2 days left of this weekend where I can do that and rock on. So we'll see, but let's go have some good cozy reading time. We're having a day. The social media is just like taking over the brain and we can't have it. So we have the book. We are comfy on the couch. I'm also in a really bad habit of not using a freaking bookmark. I literally have no idea where I left off in this book. Like, if my life depended on it, could not tell you a page number. Hopefully I updated it in Goodreads. 191, let's see if we're there. It says we're 44% of the way through. Okay, yeah, that's where we're at. So I'm on chapter 21. They're pretty quick chapters, and it goes to just under 400 pages. I think I could read a good amount in this amount of time. What amount of time? I could read a good amount of this today and then maybe finish off the night with an episode of Grey's Anatomy. Wow. It's been just under an hour. Yeah, it's been like 40 minutes and I've read 100 pages. So I have just under 100 left of this book. I think I'm putting some of the threads together, but I also feel like this book could be one of those mysteries that at the end, there's just no way you can figure out the mystery without the help of the author. So we're gonna stay tuned. I am liking it, but some of it seems just the slightest bit convenient, and some things just seem a little bit too convenient, and I feel like this girl is trying to solve a very involved mystery, and there are some points where she's just like, she never gets full confirmation of the points she's making, but she's convinced herself she is correct, which I feel like is just not the best way to solve a mystery. Also, it doesn't bother me, but it does throw me off a little bit. You can tell very clearly that Holly Jackson is from England in this book, because she's writing things that is not, this book is set in Connecticut, and the way that she writes and says some things is not how we colloquially speak in New England. And she just uses some phrases that I for a while was like, she's definitely from England, and then I read her bio in the back of the book and she is actually from England and lives in London. So not like a negative of the book, but it is just the slightest bit distracting, especially somebody who like grew up in the New England area and's been to Connecticut a bunch. So just interesting. But I'm gonna try and power through. I'm getting to the point, and this I feel like has been happening to me a lot lately, where I get close to finishing a book and then I'm already thinking about, ooh, what am I gonna read next? And I get like excited to pick my next book. So the one thing I really don't know and is distressing about my reading of this book, I don't know, because there are 3 in this series, I don't know if the mystery gets solved in this book. I really sincerely hope it does, but I don't know. Like, I don't know if the trilogy is made up of 3 separate mysteries, or is one mystery stretched over 3 books. So we'll see, but we're gonna keep reading on this cozy Saturday. Listen, I did not expect for the dog in the book to die, and I am upset. Holly Jackson, I really feel that this was not necessary and could have been avoided at all other costs, okay? Don't do books where the dog is killed for no reason. In fact, I journeyed through Stephen King's fairy tale to literally save an elderly dog. This is not cool. This is not okay. I am upset. And honestly, I don't even care if she solves the mystery anymore, because Barney is dead. That's my update. Okay, Grant's on his way home, and he's gonna be like 50 minutes, but things are really heating up in this book, and I have like 50 pages left. I want to see if I can finish this, give you my thoughts, and then pick a new one to read before he gets home. But he's also a speedy driver, so I gotta go. Things are taking a turn and that I didn't predict, and I'm definitely not right, but also I'm rarely right when I read a mystery book and try and figure it out, so I'm not that upset about it, but I really thought I had it this time. I don't know how I feel about this book. I just finished it. First reaction is a 3-star review here, or like a 3.5. I think it was a compelling concept. I think it was really well done in its structure through the lens of a capstone project with the files and the pieces of evidence and all of that good stuff. The characters were interesting and complex, and it was a very well thought out story. However, the ending for me was a little too layered and complicated, because there were like 3 different times that I was like, okay, now we're at the end. But then we went back in and we weren't actually at the conclusion of the mystery. It was so intricate that by the time we get to the last one, I was like, is it done yet? Like, is it over? Yeah, I don't know if I didn't love the ending. It felt, I'm trying to think of how I want to describe this. So without spoiling it, that's the trick here. There's a moment where we think that the mystery's been solved. Then we discovered that it's actually only partially solved, and then there is a completed ending, and our main character almost gets murdered themselves. I feel like it would have been more I don't know. It is interesting that there were 2 people kind of guilty for this. Solution we think we have, I think, was really kind of like weird and creepy and off-putting in a way that was like unsettling and not satisfying. And I was just like, ooh, I don't really want to read about this anymore. And then there was the second one. I appreciated that our main character Pippa had some compassion for that person who was found to be guilty. However, she was going to let a murderer like leave the country and not deal with the circumstances of her crime. Like, at the end of the day, that person was a victim, but also was a murderer.
so like should deal with the consequences of their own actions. You know what I mean? Like, it is not as if their crime was for vengeance against the person that attacked them or did them wrong. It was to somebody like adjacently related. To me, that person, I think, should have been punished, and they do ultimately get punished, but our main character is ready to like let them run free. So that was just like you didn't do this whole investigation to find the murderer and let them walk away. You know what I mean? It's a mixed bag of feelings. I'm gonna say a 3.5. I do like a murder thriller mystery that kind of like creeps me out a little bit. Holly Jackson's books do that to me. This is my second book of hers that I've read this year. I liked To Survive a lot better, I think, than this one. It was good, but it got complicated and twisty there at the end, and one was creepy and one I think was going to be a really trended toward the more unsatisfying. But I do love the way that in reading thrillers and mysteries, I love tracking the thought pattern of the person solving the mystery. I say this all the time. I feel like I am a genius for following and like solving the mystery along with them, because Lord knows I am not smart enough to do it myself, but I love to watch the connections that they make and the way they figure and puzzle out these different things. So I appreciate that. I liked this concept. I'm curious what the other two are about. The second one is called Good Girl Bad Blood, and there's a third one. There's also a prequel, like a 0.5. I think I'm gonna pick my next book, but maybe not start it. I kind of want to watch Grey's Anatomy. I really wish that Goodreads did like the half stars, because this I think is truly a 3.5 for me. But that is my 37th book of 2023. I'm 3 books ahead of schedule. Let's take a look at the shelf, and I'm gonna pick some contenders. You can let me know what you think I should read, but I'm probably gonna make a decision today. Okay, I have 3 options that I've pulled, and all are very scattered, very different vibes. So not quite sure what we're going with. We might do the like read the first 3 chapters of all of them and then decide, but 3 books. The first, and I'm a little bit leaning to this one because I think it's gonna be pretty mindless, or not mindless, but should be an easy read, and that is Icebreaker by Hannah Grace. This is like a hockey figure skating sports romance, and it's supposed to be much beloved on TikTok. Though this feels very winter coded for me. All my friends have read this recently and I want to talk about it with them and know what the hype is. But this feels like very lighthearted, doesn't take a lot of brain power reading. Not leaning towards that one, I don't think. I think I've just figured out that that's going to be a winter read for me. The next is very coded for this time of year. I don't feel totally sold on it, but I'm excited about the concept and I've heard good things. But for some reason, it just doesn't feel right to read it right now, even though this like is the time to read it, if that makes sense. But that is The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches by Sangu Mandana. This is about like a witch who, witches are not supposed to group together because their magic pools and makes things kind of crazy happen. But she goes to work at either an orphanage or with this group of witches that are very young, these kids that have been orphaned, to teach them magic. This looks like super cozy, sweet fall fantasy, and I'm kind of feeling it. Like, it seems really cute. It's set in Britain. The main character's name is Mika Moon. Like, it's going to be a cozy, witchy vibe. This one I have had my eyes on for a while. I've been wanting to read for a while. Truthfully, don't know anything about the premise of this book, but that is Tress of the Emerald Sea by Brandon Sanderson. This is one of the secret projects that Brandon Sanderson had in 2023. I think this was his first one. Oh, I think I have to read this one right now. So I'm gonna read you the synopsis. The only life Tress has known on her island home in an emerald green ocean has been a simple one, with the simple pleasures of collecting cups brought by sailors from faraway lands and listening to stories told by her friend Charlie. But when his father takes him on a voyage to find a bride and disaster strikes, Tress must stow away on a ship and seek the sorceress of the deadly midnight sea. Amid the spore oceans where pirates abound, can Tress leave her simple life behind and make her own place sailing a sea where
a single drop of water can mean instant death. My sister's having a baby, like literally this week, and he's going to be named Charlie. So that just kind of speaks to me. Board in my classroom, right behind my desk, there is a display where I tell my kids what I've most recently read, what I'm currently reading, and what I want to read next. This has been on my what I'm reading next since school started in August. So I feel like I need to read this. I also feel like I've never read a Brandon Sanderson, and that's something that I really want to do. This is about 360 pages, and I think it's like a standalone novel, so everything will be wrapped up in this. Dear reader, I started writing this in secret as a novel just for my wife. She urged me to share it with the world, and alongside 3 other secret novels with the support of readers worldwide, it grew into the biggest Kickstarter campaign of all time. I'm excited to present the first book to you at last, a different type of Brandon Sanderson story, one I wrote when there was no time constraints, no expectations, and no limits on my imagination. Come be a part of the magic. This is also feeling like very whimsical, magical coded that comes for me with fall and Halloween. Truthfully, I think I'm going to start with Brandon Sanderson and maybe also dabble into this. It's still early in October. It's literally October 7th. So I feel like I can finish this and start this in October, and that be my October reading. Seems pretty nice. Icebreaker, we're definitely gonna hold off on until winter time. But now I'm really excited, and I'm gonna dive into Tress of the Emerald Sea. I feel so cozy, and like I've done all of my favorite hobbies so far. This has been like a fantastic long weekend, and I am having a freaking blast. After this long weekend. It's actually Tuesday, so just after the long weekend, and I wanted to kind of do a quick wrap up of what I was able to read and write this long weekend, this cozy fall long weekend. So writing, we'll just get out of the way. I wrote 6.5 pages of my book. So over the course of the weekend, I wrote 2,365-ish words, which I'm pretty happy about. That was about 6.5 pages of writing, which feels very good. I didn't get back to it as much as I had wanted to, but that's okay. It just wasn't the moment, wasn't the time, and that's all right, because I'm going to try again this week. I also finished 2 books this weekend, which I'm really excited about, and I am about to finish a third. I listened to Weyward by Emilia Hart, which was my audiobook for this week, or for last week I should say, and it was really, really good. I was identifying some struggles I thought I was gonna have with this multi-POV, multi-timeline novel, and I felt like I was at the beginning very worried about feeling like I didn't understand where the plot was going. I didn't see really what we were building towards plot-wise. And it never really corrected itself, but it became less of an issue. I was just kind of like along for the ride, watching these stories unfold and have our characters experience them without needing to know, okay, we're looking to solve this problem. Just kind of being along with them as they go through the motions of their own stories was really nice. It was kind of addictive to listen to. She was very good at ending a character's POV on a cliffhanger, so you wanted to keep listening and reading to get back to their point of view. But I also really liked all three perspectives. I thought they were different enough but entwined enough and similar threads throughout all three of them. That was just really successful. I don't think that there was one point of view that I liked the best. I think I liked all of them really equally, which is kind of rare for a multi-POV novel. Secondly, I finished Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Jackson. I was a little bit disappointed by the ending of this novel. I felt like it was very strange and convoluted and complicated, and there was probably a simpler, more satisfying ending that could have happened to that story. I also don't feel super compelled to read the next two, especially because that mystery wrapped itself up. I don't really know what the second and the third one are about, and I don't really want to go find another mystery or murder like I did with the first one. I think it was cool to like read the documents and see her thinking patterns of going through solving that mystery, but it wasn't my favorite mystery that I've ever read. I think I gave it like 3.5 stars overall. And lastly, what I started this weekend and got a good way through, not nearly done, but a good chunk of the way through. I read the first 80 pages of Tress of the Emerald Sea by Brandon Sanderson. This is my first Brandon Sanderson novel, and I'm actually really enjoying it. This fantasy, almost sci-fi alien world, but very high fantasy feeling, has just kind of absorbed me lately, and I've been so excited and just purely happy to be reading this book. I'm not going to give too many thoughts on it right now or a synopsis. You're going to have to wait for this week's reading vlog that's being filmed right now, which I will hopefully share with you very soon. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed spending this cozy weekend with me, doing some hobbies, doing some fun fall things, and I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in my next one. Have a wonderful day wherever you are, and happy reading. Bye-bye.